What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today we're hopping into Exceptional X-Men issue number 12. We're jumping back in with Kitty Pryde, Emma Frost, and their gang of brand new mutants, Malay, Axo, and Bronze. And this story, it starts us off with Reginald James McNair III. He goes to school with all the other kids. He's a soccer star, a theater enthusiast, and right now he is absolutely terrified because not only is he all of these things, but he's also a mutant, and he's the one responsible for Kitty Pryde disappearing into a portal. This is what picks us up with Emma Frost, Iceman, and the kids. They're going through all of their routine training, and we see that these kids, they're getting good. After all of this time, they've been training with Iceman, and Iceman, he's training them right. But as training comes to an end, everybody's wondering, where the hell is Kitty? Where did she go? She's supposed to be here for this training. And so Bobby, he starts making some calls, calling Nina Kitty's kinda girlfriend, but she doesn't know where Kitty is either. Now at this point, we got some people that are starting to get worried, getting a little bit of concern. This is when Ironheart shows back up. Ironheart having Reginald in hand. Now at first, Bobby's like, how the hell did you get in here? Emma Frost a little standoffish as well. But she's like, the window was literally open. Like, it was literally open. I just flew in. What you guys need to be worried about is the kid. The one who made a space swirly time hole thing, and Kitty Pryde just disappeared. Now at this point, Bronze has kind of got a crush on this guy. She's still keeping it under wraps and all that good stuff, but she's also just finding out that this dude's a mutant. Something that he's been trying to work up and tell her, it just hasn't been easy to do. Though everybody in this room, they already know that. But he doesn't really understand his powers. Pink swirls appear that he thinks are holes or portals or something. And then he's got like scars on his arm. And so Emma begins to investigate and try to understand his powers. Taking a look into his mind, this gives her a better understanding. These little swirls, they're space-time portals. The blackouts that Reggie has been having, those are minor bursts of time travel. That's the good news. The bad news, Kitty Pryde's gone back in time. Now, of course, Bobby's the first one to be like, I'll go, don't worry about it. The problem is, Bobby and Emma, they can't go. They are both very important for the trajectory of young Caitlin's life. If they run into her at the wrong time, it could disrupt the flow of things. And because of this, the kids have to be sent. This is going to be their first mission without Bobby, without Emma, without any real oversight. Now with Ironheart here to have a quick wham bam thank you ma'am way of dealing with pinpointing her exact time and location, Emma Frost is going to help Reggie use his powers to open up a portal. But before they go and do this, they head off to the thrift store. Because if they're going to do a mission, they're going to go back in time. They want to get some time-appropriate clothing. Though Axo's jean jacket, I kind of feel attacked because I wear the same kind of jean jacket still right now. But they're ready to time travel. With the portal opening up, we see our team head in. Everyone's saying their goodbyes, their be carefuls, the whole 9 yards. They go time traveling, and while our heroes sit here, while the X-Men are waiting for their return, this is where Ironheart gets a detection. 3 inbound hostiles. As they bust down the door, we see that these are the Sentinel Hounds. They've picked up the energy signature picked up from the portal. It's drawing them here. Because of this, Emma says that they gotta close the portal up. As they battle the Sentinel dogs, they're able to get the portal closed up, but one of the Sentinel dogs falls through. This is what takes us to the past in Deerfield, Illinois. Our 3 kids falling here on the sidewalk, but now they're wondering, what do we do now? Like, what do we do? Where do we go? They still have the device that's going to be able to help them out in getting home, but Emma Frost said that she was going to be communicating this entire time. Nobody hears Emma's voice, which means they're on their own. They don't want to mess up time in any way, so they're just keeping their head down. They're not talking to anybody. They're not doing anything. They're just trying to figure out where Emma would go. Where Kitty would go. And they're kids from a newer generation, so they're at the point like, how do we find people without the internet? Like, maybe we can use a phone book, but we don't even really know what a phone book is. But they're thinking like, if I'm Kitty from the future, am I gonna go home? Am I gonna avoid home? Like, what's my plan of action here? But this is when they run into the Kitty Pryde of the past, just accidentally bumping into her. And Kitty Pryde is asking, do any of you have the time? That is where this issue will end. Alright, so not a bad issue. A new mutant introduced who has the capability of time travel. He can open space-time portals pretty much at will, having very little to absolute no control over this. He has potential to be an extremely powerful mutant. Now this is gonna be fun. The kids get to go on a time-traveling adventure all by themselves. They get to learn the do's and do nots, the ramifications, the consequences, all of that stuff. These are all things that the kids need to learn. Living in the world that they live in, growing up with powers, being a part of the X-Men, it's trial by fire time. My only real issue with this whole new X-Men team, I don't really feel like there's huge stakes here. You know, with the X-Men, with the school that Charles has and everything that they did, there was bigger stakes, there was bigger threats. And in this case, this comic seems to be keeping the kids away from danger. And it is kind of intentional. Emma Frost, Kitty Pryde, they all want to keep these kids out of the line of fire. They don't want them to have to grow up like they did. And so these kids aren't going to be growing up like they did. We can't expect it to be the same, but at the same time, there's so many threats out there, like the Sentinel dogs. Like, you can try to hide these kids from what's really going on, but at the end of the day, those threats are going to come for them. They're going to show up at their doorstep. They're going to be hunting them down. And maybe that's what makes this a good story. Maybe it's Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde doing everything they can to give these kids a better life, but that effort ends up ultimately futile because there's nothing that they can do. Nonetheless, I'm excited. More mutants. Reginald's on board, having the potential to one day maybe be an Omega. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but you never know. That kind of power, once you hone it in, once you figure it out, it could be just astronomically powerful. Someone that definitely needs to link up with Eden, needs to link up with Bishop. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with Exceptional X-Men or any of the X titles ever since the fall of Krakoa, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you're getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do any of that, please do me the favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.